What do we think of Trey Lance? We got to watch it. We got to see him today. What do we think of Trey Lance, the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers?
I would say that my expectations were pretty low, just given that I've seen him, and I expected power for arm throws and dimes out there. But I do think it validated my question mark of I do think this guy's a major project. And that sounds really bad, but I mean, I think they knew what they were getting in bed with when you drafted a guy that had started one season at 1AA. He physically looks the part. He can make throws that Jimmy simply can't, at least with the velocity on it, right? Between defenders. He threw that one seed he threw today to Juwan Jennings over the middle that,
Best throw of the day?
Yeah, what would you say in air? Well, I'd say the best throw of the day was that Sudfeld bomb to the random.
Well, the best Trey Lance throw. I think it was probably from the drop back. I'd say it was probably a 27-yard throw.
Yeah, just absolute Brett Favre throws and rope.
You agree with that distance?
Yeah, perfect spiral. No, he can do it. I do think there are some concerns. Again, 22-year-old could still be a fifth year. I'm not trying to crush the guy. I just think he's got area to grow like any young quarterback on just the basic shit, like a wheel route. Can you just kind of hit the guy in stride where you can get him a move, or does he have to like turn around on just a basic like in route? One thing Jimmy could do when he was in rhythm is just like slant routes. He could throw slants, right? That was like his throw. I always felt like the kind of a quick. To me, that's an area that Trey still kind of working through his mechanics that can be just a little hit or miss. When I watch Trey Lance, I go, this guy, if he's going to become a really good player, like ultimately a top 10 quarterback, is going to have to improve his accuracy. I do think he'll be able to explode down the field, make big plays, be hit or miss right now. If they had to play like in 2 weeks, I would not expect the most accurate performance from the guy, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, but Josh Allen, a lot of guys were inaccurate. Justin Fields inaccurate. Like it's a natural progression, I would say now, where it was always looked upon. Bill Parcells was always big on you had to be accurate coming out because you could never improve. And historically, there was one guy, Warren Moon, that improved. I think that's been proven. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, guys have dramatically improved. It's probably because of the way the game is officiated. That, to me, is the area that's more likely. Like, I think his release is always going to be a little just iffy. Like, I don't think there are muscle memory parts about your release that don't change that much. But can he become an accurate passer like Josh Allen has become in 3 or 4 years?
And that's not something we were going to find out today. I think one thing that stands out, 7-on-7, not a lot of guys, no one's running wide open in those types of drills, right? It's a lot of contested throws. Maybe on some of the outs, the shallow throws, guys are a little more open. But Trey Lance did not, unless I'm missing a throw the ball down the field really at all today.
Doesn't feel like they were running too many like bombs for him, right?
No, Sudfeld hit one down the field, but no, you're right. No one was really. It's not what they were running. But Kyle Shanahan was asked afterwards by Matt Mayoko if Trey's throwing motion looks any different, and Kyle said no, and Matt said, well, sometimes it looked like it was coming out a little lower, and Kyle said, well, sometimes there's different arm angles you throw from. I thought Trey's motion looked a little tighter sometimes. When I say tighter, I'm not a quarterback analyst, so I shouldn't say tighter. I thought sometimes last year when we saw the ball come low in a bigger loop, I thought sometimes that was gone, but sometimes it was there. So Kyle said it's about the same. I don't think.
Did you mention that when we were watching in practice? Or was that Biederman that thought it was coming out? Someone said like they kind of thought it was coming outside.
Yes.
Again, I'm closer to Kyle. It didn't stand out to me, but I'm with you on the release. It was a sometimes thing, which to me is an improvement, right? You don't change. Tiger didn't change his golf swing one range session. You don't change your release in 3 months of an off season when probably more than likely they play till the end of January. You probably take 3 or 4 weeks off. Right, of just like truly throwing. How long has he really been grinding with Quincy Avery or whatever? 2 months? Like it is understandable that it's a work in progress.
Adam Dado.
You could argue that's a positive, right? That they're trying to slow it down. Because I heard some people say, you don't even mess with it. You just try to work with what you have to ever screw up the mechanics because it could go the other way. But I like that we're seeing he's cognitively attempting to.
That's what we think. Kyle said it's not any different, but
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyle's just trying to quell a lot of
yeah.
stuff around him, you know?
Look, obviously, like we already, I think, have established, the arm strength is significantly stronger.
It's never going to look like Jimmy, right?
It's no, I mean, there will be some wobblers. Doesn't mean the ball is not being thrown hard, but not everything's a perfect spiral. But not everything, there are plenty of quarterbacks who have not thrown 100% spirals. Sometimes
I think Peyton said on the Manning cast, I made the Hall of Fame throwing an accurate duck.
A tight wobble.
Tight wobble. That's what it was.
A tight wobble. So I thought he looked fine. I mean, he's the starting quarterback. He's going to be their starting quarterback. And there wasn't a lot of, there was no 2-minute drill. There wasn't any red zone type stuff today, which you kind of like, because then you get some really tight throws. I think he's going to throw a hard ball to intercept. To me, when he misses high, which he didn't do a lot of today, to my memory, like one particular throw missed high, but other than that, I think it's going to be a tough ball to grab because he throws it hard. And, you and I are having a conversation about his completion percentage. It's going to be tough. One question is, are they going to throw the ball down the field more? And then, I think some of it's going to be him off script, him out of the pocket, and then where Kyle scripts things open, but there's no Kittle, no Juszczyk, no Deebo Samuel in terms of guys to throw it to. I don't think Elijah Mitchell. I saw a lot of Sermon and Hasty. I mean, Mitchell was out there, but
I saw he walked by us. He had the swag of like, I'm the starter.
Elijah
back for the Niners, baby.
Take these reps off. You guys go ahead and take them.
He had pants on, the sweatshirt with the jersey. He looked sweet just walking by. He looked like running back's my favorite position. I liked his vibe. I like the Niners running backs vibes. Like so does Kyle. He's going to try to run it 45 times a game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything else on that first conversation about Trey? I mean, there are a couple other things.
I think it's fair to say, like, Trey's comp, and this, it's going to sound, but I think what he needs to undertake is a Josh Allen type thing, right? He's just going to be a work in progress, ton of physical attributes. I would say Josh has more physical elite traits. I mean, Josh got a chance to go down as like one of the great quarterbacks in NFL history, right? So, but I'm just saying, like, that to me is the mold of Trey. Because I do think, like, part of the reason people loved him was, like, Dak is a good example, high character guy, teammates, like all that stuff. But Dak's physical attributes, like, if he was out there, you wouldn't be blown away. Like, to me, Trey that's why you draft him, right? He's in a different category of arm power
and athleticism.
I'd say, yeah, but remember, young Dak could kind of run around, but. It's hard to. What I also like today is we didn't see him run around. Just fucking throw the ball. I would throw the ball every single rep. None of that. Now, part of it is right. Like, he's a starting quarterback now. I wonder last year if they were just giving him zone reads because that was like the only thing that it was just a way to ease him in. Like, now it's like, why would he just run the plays? Right?
Yeah.
It just felt like they were just running normal plays with Trey Lance today. I didn't notice any zone read or anything.
No, I didn't. There was none of that.
Felt like he was just taking. If you just close your eyes and like went to a practice 2 years ago with just Jimmy Garoppolo, it was the exact same today of just dropbacks, footwork, 4 or 5 wide. Just we're doing passing drills. They're just treating him like a normal quarterback, trying to improve him.
HR says, has Trey thrown a spiral yet? Yes, many spirals, many spirals.
What would you say? 85% of them are spirals.
Again, like, are we counting the like drill, dump down to Brian Greasy?
I'm talking like reps with wide receivers.
Yeah.
75?
No lower than that. But I mean, would Brady be 100%?
He'd be high. He'd be a bad example. Him and Rodgers, I'd say.
I'm starting high, and then we'll work down. But the other thing.
But like the tight wobble comment, if you're in the vicinity of the wide receiver, does it really matter that much if it's a perfect spiral or a tight wobble? Because he's not throwing ducks. I would just say sometimes it's not. Sudfeld out there throws a fucking gorgeous football.
Mm.
It is if you're a lover of a tight spiral
here, and it's just whoosh.
He throws I understand why Doug Peterson's, the Kyle Shanahan's, they might just love watching him throw the football. Now, he can't probably play in a game.
Oh my God. The way he throws the ball, it's all because he's so tall, it's all coming down, right? And it looks like he just you know the guy in the well, never mind. That's a bad analogy, but it just looks like he's just guiding the ball, back of the ball, index finger.
And we're not hyping up
down.
like this guy's a good player.
No,
Like,
no,
it'd be
no,
like watching a guy who can just dominate on the driving range. And him on the driving range is a sight to see, just throwing those balls, because it is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not even if a perfect spiral is 100%, he is 100 out of 100 on the perfect spiral. Like, no air in between. There's not even a hint of a wobble.
No. I think one thing this will be maybe for another time, but in the Josh Allen, Trey Lance ran part of the attraction of Trey Lance and the connection with the Niners was that he ran, what they ran, right? Josh Allen was a 56% passer, just trying to get through every day at Wyoming, just trying to will them.
So my point is, on the project, he had farther to go, I would imagine, than Trey his rookie year, right? Just like the raw product that showed
Why doesn't
up.
Brian Daboll get any credit for that?
We became the head coach of the New York Giants.
Right, but we don't talk about Daboll the way we talk about, the Gruden. And Daboll produced a better quarterback than Gruden ever did.
And his coach was a defensive guy, so Sean McDermott wasn't doing it.
But we just give all the credit to Josh Allen, which maybe he deserved. I don't know.
I do feel Daboll probably didn't get the hype of like a Gruden, but it felt like he gained a lot of steam the last 2 years. I mean, he's the head coach of the New York Giants now.
Yeah,
I would say largely.
And
you're right.
Better.
Probably still underrated on the hype that he should receive.
That's better than getting credit on Twitter, becoming the head coach of the Giants.
I feel like Daboll got a lot of credit on Twitter the last couple of years. But you're right. Josh Allen gets more than it feels like in some instances coaches get.
Just like Josh Allen became Josh Allen, like he was supposed to be,
But
which maybe it was.
Like, does Andy get an unlimited credit from Mahomes? It feels like once you become so famous and good, you just talk about the player a lot.
Yeah, Andy does get a lot of credit. But part of it is to me, it's like multiple. Like part of it, he made the Alex Smith year almost does more for Andy in a weird way than Mahomes.
And the other thing with Josh is the difference. Like, people thought Trey Lance, like, good prospect. People thought Josh Allen sucked, right? I would say pretty universally, like, you could not draft this guy.
Yeah, and then he went 7th.